This is how you win at chess. Whether you're new to the game or a grandmaster, these tips and tricks are invaluable. If you start applying them now, I can guarantee your ELO will go up around 500 to 1000 points, trust me. One of the strongest openings in the game is the King's Gambit. You open with your king's pawn, they respond with anything, and then you start driving your king slowly but surely up the field, forcing them to make mistakes by applying pressure on their pieces. The king can move in any direction, so it's very effective at capitalizing on any small error your opponent might make. As you can see, my opponent is crumbling under the pressure of the king, and they heavily blunder their queen, and victory is already assured. This is a much more advanced technique. Do not try this if you're faint at heart. This can only be done in real life. So let's say we have this position. It's a critical period in the game. The game could go in any direction. It's white's turn. So this is what you have to do. You have to pick up the bishop and swiftly and quickly take this knight. And the aim here is to do it so quickly the opponent doesn't even realize that it's actually an illegal move. And preferably the opponent is distracted with something when you do this. Maybe they're itching their nose or looking over their shoulder. A useful tip I have, something I like to do, is I have a glass of water I'm drinking, I pick up the glass of water and I throw it as hard as I can on the wall behind them. Usually an opponent will turn around when you do this, they're possibly confused or shocked. These are normal reactions. This is when you pick up that bishop, snap, take that knight. When they return to looking at the board, they normally don't even realize that you've made an invalid move. Flanking maneuvers can be very effective. If you make your queen attack from the side of the board, more often than not, the opponent won't even notice her coming. As you can see, I bring my queen to the side of the board, bait the opponent in with some middle pawn action, and then boom, I attack. And as you can see, my opponent doesn't even notice my queen is taking their pieces. They're too distracted by the center of the board, and my queen continues to absolutely wreak havoc as they're just too busy developing their pieces, not knowing what's going on in their backline, as they haven't even noticed the flanking maneuver. This is a grandmaster level technique which you likely won't ever be able to pull off, but 1 in 100 games you might manage it. You can take a queen in a very small amount of moves. Let's say the game starts with something like this. You bait the pawn in with your pawns, but don't worry, this is all part of the plan. You continue to bait the pawn in and this will all pay off. It's a very advanced gambit. You start developing the right side of your board. You don't care about losing a few pieces. That doesn't mean anything to you. You now develop your knight. And then this is where the crucial step happens. Their pawn takes your queen as planned and is now a queen. And this is where you can win a queen in a very easy, precise move by taking it with your king. And you're already a queen up. And look at the right side of your board. It's extremely developed, ready to attack their right side, which is now vulnerable because it's missing a pawn. And 95 out of 100 times, you win this game. It's always important to wear long sleeves when you play a chess game in real life. The reason for this is that you can get away with a lot if you smuggle a few queens up your sleeves. For example, in this position, we are quite even on the board, but what the opponent doesn't know is I have a queen in reserve, ready to place anywhere I want on the board. You can distract them any way you like, place the queen down, and boom, when they return to the board, you'll be vastly up in material and they won't know what hit them. This table shows you the importance of keeping your king in the middle of the board. As you can see, if you're in the center squares, your king can move in any direction, has 8 available moves. However, if you're in the corners, it only has 3 available moves and only 5 on the sides. So make sure to keep your king as central as possible. You are losing at chess, you have a few options. You can say you have high latency and lag. You can say you're on very few hours of sleep. You can say there's a family emergency which distracted you, or you can say there's an ongoing crime going on at your house. Perhaps there's an intruder with a gun and they're holding you at gunpoint. All of these are valid excuses you can use when you're down in material and about to lose. Normally, your opponent will be gracious and allow a rematch at a later date. Like and subscribe for more tips like this in the future. See you later.